Recently I've been thinking a lot about the focus that trading requires, right? Because if you don't know, in the beginning of the year, I had a really good run. I requested two $40,000 payouts, and I think it was in less than 30 days, but we'll just say in 2 months, I got $80,000 in payouts, and it was a very great run. And after I got those payouts, I started this new business, and the business required a lot of my focus, a lot of my time. And then also, after I got those payouts, I went on a couple trips. I went to Austin, Texas to house shop. And then a week after that, I went to St. Thomas for vacation. And my trading struggled. Now I could blame it on, Nasdaq was at all-time highs, so that's why I was struggling. But I also think I was struggling because I wasn't locked in with trading. I wasn't focused. So I want to chat about when I get in a trading rut, how do I get out of it? Right? I think we all go through trading ruts or just periods of time where our trading goes downhill. And this isn't the first time it's happened to me. Last year, kind of the same thing happened, just on a lower scale. Like I was getting multiple 20K months, lots of payouts, and then there was a 2 month period where I wasn't getting anything. And I was struggling. And I think it's because I wasn't as focused as I should be. So I want to chat about how I get back in the groove of things. Not just for you, but for me in the future, because I kind of know that it'll happen again. As a trader, it's not just, your P&L doesn't go straight up. It's like trading. You get pullbacks and then you break the highs. So right now I'm in a pullback, but I'm going to explain how I like to get out of it again because it's not the first time. And I know I'm getting out of it because I've already seen, my profits building up this month. So, like I said, I had a really good run. And then 2 months, my focus was off. Now I'm getting back in the groove and I'm getting closer to payouts, which is good. Hopefully, I have a 30K month or more. You never know. But I'm more than halfway there. So I know I'm on the right track. And I think trading requires a certain focus. Now, I don't mean focus by, when you're actually trading, you have to be very focused on the candlesticks forming. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about, what do you do before trading? What do you do while you trade? And then what do you do after you trade? Okay, it's like a little sandwich, right? You have the buns and then you have the meat and the inside and whatever. Like it goes together, you get me? So what do you do pre-market? Right? When I'm locked in and trading and my results are going great, I have a very good pre-market routine. Now, it's not an insane routine. Like I don't take cold showers, right? But I like to get up at least an hour or two before market open, get the sand out of my eyes, stretch, maybe even work out. In the beginning of the year, I was very focused on like waking up early, going to the gym before the charts, and there's so many benefits to that. But right now, what I've been doing since the weather has been nice, I've been going on more walks before the market opens. So that's kind of been my exercise kind of before the market open. It's not an everyday thing, but I do it. And then you can also meditate, you can do yoga, do some type of movement, wake up your body, get the sand out of your eyes. If you are a trader that wakes up 10 minutes before market open and then you trade, you kind of rush into the charts. It works for some people, right? But if it's not working for you, then you need a pre-market routine. Another good thing to do before the market opens is simply just look at your plan, look at your trading plan, or even look at your past winners, right? Or your past losers. What are the mistakes you've been making, right? Stuff like that. Or even look at what news is coming out today, right? Is there any high impact news? A lot of traders forget to do like those simple things, right? So that's kind of what you should do during pre market. I feel like you shouldn't just wake up randomly, and then boom, you're on the charts. Oh, I'm getting a call. Hold up. Boom, exit that out. This is a one take video. Okay. So I'm getting right into it. Now that we talked about the pre market routine, which I think requires focus, right? If you're not focused on how you come into the charts, it could explain your results. And I know from experience, like I said, the past 2 months I haven't been as focused as I should be. And one of the things that I was doing was I just kind of wake up kind of last minute, and you could see it on the streams. Mind you, I stream every single morning. If you look at one of the streams, probably like, I don't know, 4 weeks ago, you could probably see I look very tired because I just woke up like probably 30 minutes before or something. I wasn't really like prepared, I guess you could say. And again, that could be because maybe I stood up the night before pretty late working on this other business or something. Most likely I was going to sleep pretty late. But anyways, now that we talked about the pre-market routine, I want to talk about what do you do during trading. Now, a lot of us traders know what we're doing, and we know when we're doing something we shouldn't be doing. So, if you don't know what neuroplasticity is, basically it's like kind of building a muscle, right? The more you do it, the more stronger it gets. So, the more you break rules, the more you're kind of training your brain to do that, right? Because you're doing it. So the more that you do something you know you shouldn't be doing, the more that you're going to be fine with doing it, even though you know you shouldn't be doing it, you know? So there has to be a day where, again, you know when you're doing something you shouldn't be doing. When you have that feeling, simply just walk away. And it's going to be hard the first couple times, but neuroplasticity, I can't even say the word. Neuroplasticity works both ways, right? If you get more used to doing the right thing, then it's going to become more easier, right? Cuz you're kind of training that muscle. So, that's that's pretty self-explanatory, right? Like just do the right thing. And obviously it's easier to say than to do, but if you just do it one time and then do it the next time and the next time, it'll get easier naturally, right? What's another thing that you should do during trading? Hmm. Well, it depends on you because every trader is different, right? Some traders take max 3 trades a day. Others traders take 10 trades a day. Others take 1 trade a day. It really depends on you, right? So I can't really talk too much about like what to do while you're trading because it's different for every trader. But at the end of the day, I think when you're doing something wrong. And I'm here to tell you, the more that you break your own rules, the more easier it gets to break the rules, right? It's pretty self-explanatory. So this is just a reminder. Next time you're doing something you shouldn't be doing, just simply walk away. You don't want to get used to doing the wrong thing, right? So I don't want to talk too much about like the what you're doing while trading because it's gonna be different for everyone. But let's talk about what do you do after trading because I think this should be kind of the same for every trader, and that is reviewing your trade. And I mean like studying your trading, right? I feel like you should always remain a student to the game, and sometimes that's hard to do. And I'm stuttering. I'm stuttering. My bad. We're not even gonna cut that. We're gonna keep going. I noticed that during my 2 month rut, right, when I was trading pretty bad, I really wouldn't review the trades as much as I should have. Like I just kind of trade and then for the rest of the day I'd be doing other things that weren't really related to my own trading, especially when I took losses. When I took losses, it was just like I took the loss and that was it. Next day, boom. Now though, when I'm more focused on my trading, it's like if I take a loss, I want to study what went wrong. What could I fix later, right? How can I prevent that mistake? Did I do a mistake or were the markets just not in my favor? Was the zone that I took the trade off of, a really good zone to take the trade? Or was it just kind of, it was just like a medium, oh, I hit the mic. It was just kind of like a, not a plus trade, it was like a B plus trade maybe, and I took it. Maybe that's why I took the loss. Like before, I really wouldn't review the trades. And when I mean before, I'm talking about like when I wasn't doing good with trading, the last 2 months. And again, it's not the first time. Last year I had the same thing where it was like a 2 month rut, and I noticed I repeated like the same mistakes of just not studying my own trading, right? But yeah, what to do after you trade, you have to become a student to your own trading. Or even to, a strategy that you're learning or whatever it is. There's so much education on YouTube. And I mean, if you are following a trader and you want to trade like them, like study their trading, right? But at the end of the day, I do think you should study your own trading rather than someone else's executions. And that's more of like when you already know the strategy, already know what you're looking for, study your own trading, right? So, I've gotten really good at this month. I've gotten really good at pattern recognition. Like I've seen now I see the markets more clearly than I did 2 months ago, right? And part of that is because of this right here. If you follow me on Instagram, I had posted this pattern here that I usually trade. I posted it in the morning, and then I kid you not, a couple hours after I took the trade. And oh, you can't see it. Maybe I can move it up here. This pattern here is the same exact pattern I took on Friday. And I was like, bro, I literally drew it this morning. Well, I drew it the day before, but I posted it in the morning. And it just kind of shows like how good I've been with the pattern recognition part. And a lot of you guys, every trader actually trades patterns, right? Even if you're an ICT trader, you kind of trade the same pattern. I'm not talking that you're a pattern trader, but we trade like a certain way, and that certain way is a pattern, right? Another thing, this is random, but I've just been thinking about how through in life and in trading, everything has a pattern. For example, with trading on the charts, there's a pattern that you trade, but also in your head, or you as a trader, there's patterns that you repeat. For example, this is a quick example here. I noticed a pattern throughout the past 2 years that during FOMC week, I struggle in the beginning of the week. And I noticed that pattern. And because I've noticed that pattern, I've been able to fix it to where it's in my favor. Right? Another example of that is maybe after you take a loss, there's a pattern that, it gets you very emotional and then you start over trading or something. But if you're not reviewing that loss or that pattern that you make, you won't be able to change it, you know? So you have to spot certain patterns. And the best way to do that is to review your own trading. And I know it's hard to do when you take losses, but it's so worth it. It's so worth it because you could change the pattern to where it's in your favor, you know? But that was just a quick chat. Okay, I'm not sure what I'm gonna call this video, but it's just something that I've been thinking about a lot recently, and that's just like when I'm really focused with day trading, and I'm very focused on this certain goal that I want to achieve. I'm doing specific things pre-market, I'm doing specific things while I trade, and the most important part, I'm doing specific things after I trade, which again is mostly just remaining a student to your own trading, right? And not just trading as a hobby, trading when you feel like it or something. It's very, I don't want to say nerdy, but like it's very focused. I'm more focused now, and I feel better about my trading. And I think it's because I've been doing that little sandwich, right? Pre-market, during trading, and then after trading. And that's the type of focus that trading requires in order to succeed certain goals that you put. And I've just shown myself this throughout the years. Like it's crazy. It's crazy. Like I said last year, the same thing kind of happened where I was doing really good, and then I kind of forgot why I do certain things, like why I have a pre-market routine or why I even journal, right? Sometimes we forget that, and then I feel like, the universe or God or the markets, they humble you and they remind you why you need to do certain things. But the most important thing is remaining a student to the game. Study your trading. Don't be so upset when you take losses. At the end of the day, it's just a probability game, right? At the end of the day as well, there's patterns. There's patterns to everything, down to our behaviors, down to the markets, down to the candlesticks. Everything has a pattern. And if you study it, you could change the pattern in your favor, right? Or you could spot the pattern so it's in your favor, right? So you take the trade. But anyways, yeah, I'm more focused now on my trading. And I've kind of explained how I'm more focused. And it's simply just down to the habits that I have, right? But if this helped you, like the video. I always forget to tell people to like the video. But yeah, no, I feel good about my trading now. I know I've been in a little bit of a rut, but I think it's normal. I think it's normal. And I think it happens for a reason, right? And that reason is just to remind me of why I need to do certain things. Um, I also want to say, if you've been struggling with trading, study on trading. Like, if you're over trading, over leveraging, it's your fault. It's your fault. In trading, you can't blame the markets. You can't blame your girlfriend because you took the loss. Like that's not what trading is. Trading is a you thing. The best thing you could do as a trader is look at the mirror, right? Try to spot, what have I been doing wrong? If you had a payout a couple months ago, and I've had a couple people tell me this, like, damn, I've recently just had someone tell me that in November they had payouts and now they've been struggling this year. And I told them, look back at what you were doing when you were taking payouts, right? You have to be doing something differently now. Like, something had to change. And if you got that payout by luck, that's why you're struggling now, because you don't know how to repeat it, right? That's why you need systems. That's why you need a strategy. That's why you need to study your trading. But, anyways, I love you guys. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. Okay, I do plan on doing more videos. And yeah, thank you for watching.